Hey, hello, how you doing? So, coachable or not? Are you coachable? I tell you, I need to tell you an embarrassing thing about me being a coach and when I wasn't at all coachable, way before I learned to be a coach. That's so embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. How you doing, everybody? How is Facebook land? I want to talk about coaching. But not just coaching, being able to take advice, to listen to somebody else's point of view, to just be open to getting better results. So say hello, say hi if you want to. It would be nice to know who's on. But so coaching, that's just one of the things we need to be looking at. But how coachable are you really? Because being a coach for the last 20 plus years, I know that everybody is coachable up to the point where they won't let themselves be. And it's always interesting to me when we hit that point, when they go, ugh, and they don't like it. And that's when it gets interesting. That's the bit that's really important. And when I'm working with somebody, I'm looking for that point. So we're all coachable. We all will take advice when it's in our best interest to take that advice. But what is the one thing that stops people from taking the next piece of advice? So often the most crucial piece of advice. Now, it doesn't mean that every single piece of advice you should listen to and take, because I was having a conversation with someone yesterday and it had taken them in the wrong direction. They had taken the coaching, they had tried to implement it, they'd followed it, thinking they were doing the right thing. And it had actually taken them so far in the wrong direction, so far in the wrong place from who they should be and who they really are, that we had to all unpack all that and put it back in the right place so they could actually go, do you know what, I've gone in the wrong direction. So it's a bit of a minefield. So what is the one thing you should do to make sure that you are taking the right coaching advice or the right training advice or whatever the hell it happens to be? Well, it comes down to one thing: results. And what people will tell you is this is who you need to be, and this is, and some people will love to tell you what to do. And I ask my clients a lot, how many times have I told you what to do, and how many times have I told you who to be? And they say it's really rare, if ever, because the whole point of being taught something or listening to somebody else is you're taking some advice and weighing it up and thinking, is this going to work for me? So if you are taking on anybody's advice and just thinking that they know better than you, then that's dangerous. That's really dangerous. As I had with my client, we had to unpack all the stuff that had been taken going in the wrong direction. So hey, Indonesia, fantastic. Hey, Indonesia, fantastic. There you go, Indonesia, brilliant. So what we have to have is a balance. And when we have a balance, we can see which is it the thing that works for us, which is down to a result. So if you're going to take any advice from anybody, a mentor, a coach, a trainer, a teacher, then what you've got to think is this result going to work with me? And you test it. But there's a thing that's a bigger problem than working out whether to take or what piece of advice to take. It's very, very simply to ask yourself, what piece of advice do you not want to hear? Because it's what we don't allow ourselves to do that controls most of our results. So as I said right at the very beginning, I love to watch where they point at the point where they go, and the barriers come down. Now, I had a conversation with someone recently, two conversations with someone recently, who's a coach, who just wouldn't listen to anybody's advice. And I could see them making mistakes. And they told me about the time when someone said, this is what they should do. This is the advice they should give. This is their experience. And they would not take it, and their results were terrible. So why do people seek advice and then not take any of it? So talking of the two ranges of the extreme, we've got the person who took too much advice and forgot to be themselves, applying it to their situation and tried to be something they weren't, to somebody who takes no advice. So they wanted to take advice and they shut the door. And it comes down to ego, self-worth, desire to be right, to feel that they are right. And I'm going to talk about one of my clients, okay? One of the people I've trained. She is brilliant at what she does. Her name's Alexandra, okay? She's really good at financial coaching for businesses. She helps people understand their finances. And one of the biggest problems she has in people coming on and taking her advice is that because they're already established in a business, they feel that they can't admit that they don't understand the books. They don't understand balance sheets. They don't understand their cash flow system. But because they've been in business for such a long time, what's the one thing they don't want to do? Admit it. They don't want to admit it. So therefore, they're hemorrhaging money. They're losing profit from understanding where they can gain profit or where they can cut expenses. And she can show this to them in an instant. She has a proven track record. But people don't want to say, I've been in business 15 years, but I don't understand my balance sheet. But do you know what? The vast majority of people in business don't understand how finances work in their business. So they're limping along, feeling stressed because they are not able to understand it, not able to get the profit and the results they want out of it because they say, I don't want to admit something. And I've had 3 conversations this week with people who said, either I had a hard time phoning you up, Stephen, because it's embarrassing to ask for help, or they said, why do I need you? And it's down to the fact we don't want to admit we don't know something. But the whole point of getting coaching or training or getting a teacher or getting a mentor or whatever variation of it is, we can help you not pay the dumb tax. So if you don't know something, like Alexandra's clients, they were paying a lot of dumb tax. They were giving a lot of money or losing a lot of money or missing opportunities because they wouldn't put their hand up and go, I don't know something. And this is my embarrassing moment. And I've done this loads of times, but this is the one that really, I got a job. This is when I was back in my early 20s. I was a young manager. And my new boss said, how can I help you? And I said, just leave me alone. I'll sort it out and I'll come to you. And that was just me defending my ego because I didn't want to say in front of my boss this, I'm petrified because I've just been made into a manager. I've just moved into a new store and I was petrified. So my ego went, oh, young guy doesn't want to admit he doesn't know what he's doing. And guess what? She bloody knew. Of course, she absolutely knew I didn't know what I was doing because I was new to the job. So when we go into, and this is when I work with people in as entrepreneurs or they're entrepreneurial in a bigger business, we get promoted into something for the first time and we don't know how to do it. Perhaps the first time you've ever been a CEO, first time you've ever employed people, no matter which size it is, first time you don't know everything. So the person who puts their hand up and says, I'm talented enough to get this job, I'm talented enough to start this business, I'm talented enough and we're successful enough to start putting staff into the business, whatever it happens to be, but I don't know everything because I haven't done it yet. Who can I ask for help? It may be a book, it may be a coach, it may be a mentor, it may be a friend who has done it before. But it's that I want the results more than I want to defend my ego. So if you hit that point of you don't want to look stupid, then you'll pay a lot of real dumb tax. I love that expression, dumb tax. It's not mine. But that you pay the dumb tax because in reality of lost opportunity or money or waste or whatever it happens to be because you don't want to feel stupid. And I've done this loads of times. And I'm a coach and I'll tell you something. Especially when I'm trying to learn, especially with dancing, when my dance teacher, my tango teacher tells me I'm doing it wrong, I promise you something. I hate it. I hate it because I know, I could be doing this better. Why haven't I learned this? Why haven't I achieved this? And I want to not have to feel stupid because I can't do it. But guess what? That's why I go to a teacher and I say, tell me what I'm doing wrong, tell me what I need to do right, because I want to get better. So it's that, even me who teaches coaches and is a coach and has been coached by 100 people, I still don't like it. I still don't like my fragile ego being being knocked. But you know what? My desire to improve means I will keep hiring coaches and teachers, because I want the results more than I want to defend my poor little shallow ego. So I don't like it, but the desire for results is more important. So that's basically the equation. Are you defending your self-worth, or trying to defend your self-worth? And is that more important to you than results? And if it's results, then you'll go and get the advice you need from the right person. Then you go and test it out. You think about what they've said to you and you think, is this going to work? Do you think this is good advice? And then you go and test it in the real world. And sometimes it will work and sometimes it doesn't. It's a shame if it's not perfect, because it doesn't always work in every situation. But ego or real results? That's the basic question. So when I, very embarrassingly, and when I said it, I knew I was being an idiot. I've been a dick. As soon as I said it to my boss, "Oh, just sort of leave me alone and I'll be fine," I knew that she was going. And that was my moment, okay? That was my moment to build a relationship with her, where I've gone, yeah, I'll take all the advice I can give, because you've been doing this 10 years longer than me. Help me make myself a success. But I was 21 and I didn't do that. And then, I don't know how many months later it is, I had to eat a lot of humble pie. And she goes, yeah, I know, when you said it. And I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and we laughed about it, and we went red and, felt stupid. And then I took her advice, and funny enough, life got a lot easier. So, bits of advice. Be open to take advice from anywhere that you think may be valuable. Doesn't mean you have to lose your brain and take it completely, like my client did and went off in a different direction. Evaluate it, check it. Is it the right thing? Don't follow the gurus. Follow people who have done what you need to do. Take their advice. And the last thing is test it. Test it. And if you are hitting the block where you say, I will take advice, this and this and this, and you find your hackles rising, or you defending the indefensible, or like I did, just go, no, shut it down. Or that person I spoke about right at the very beginning who just would not take advice, even though they want to be a coach and they try to coach people, but they got disastrous results. They got terrible results, but they won't listen. Then if you find yourself going, hang on, my results are not getting where I want to be, ask yourself very, very honestly, coach yourself and say, am I defending my right to feel good compared to my desire to actually have real physical results, good results? Because the moment you eat a little bit of humble pie and you realise, yeah, I've put my emotions above my results, then that'll change. You still may not like it, I promise you, I still don't like it, okay? But my results are more important than my ego, because you know what? When I take advice and get better results, I get to feel good anyway. That's the point. So, here we go. Any questions? Hey everybody, I'm Michelle. Everyone's there. Cool. I can't hardly read this. Anyway, I'll read this in the comments because I don't want to end up getting into conversations. I'll talk to people. If there's anything you like, because I'd like to keep it under 15 minutes. So that's my advice. Hopefully this has been useful to you. There are people out there with knowledge that can help you. You know, the amount of people I want to work with my coach, one of my coaches, Alexandra, because she's bloody good at what she does. But they're just too embarrassed to say that they need help. And that is a dangerous and terrible thing. So that's me done. I'll answer your questions in the portal. If you're watching this on replay, do all the like stuff. Has this been useful? You know, I always forget to ask that like stuff, and I didn't go boom at the beginning. Sorry, Conan. Hope this has been useful to people. I'll speak to you soon, and I'll any questions, any thoughts you've got, any subjects you want me to cover around development, entrepreneurialism, and leadership, then let me know, and I'll do it live. Take care, everybody, and I'll speak to you soon.